Roses are red, violets are blue. The end of the year is here, so how are you? As you guys know, November was one of the most insane trading experience and trading month for almost all traders out there. We have witnessed rise of interest rates. We have witnessed economy collapsing. We have witnessed the downfall of giants. We have witnessed the fall of crypto. All happening in the month of November. And when you understand this, the end is coming, the apocalypse is coming, the economy recession is coming. So now everybody needs to make money quick, and they have to make money very, very quick. Because next year is either you have all the shits in life or you don't have anything. And this is whereby entering January is where you need to focus on winning. So for today, I want to first say congratulations. We have all gone through November safely. It is the worst trading month in my 7 years of experience, and I think it will always be. Why? So before we even go further deep down in this, I need you guys to understand the objective of this video. So this video is where a lot of you will start to be able to see how the bigger time frames and how do we position ourselves in entering the new year and entering the end of the month to close the year. So this is a very different analysis video, and then I want you guys to witness how the market will play out in this coming 30 days from this very analysis. So the in-depth we will be going through is, if you watch this video till the end, you will be able to use this analysis to trade up till December. So are you guys ready to begin? So therefore, we shall begin. So we begin the day with understanding how do we analyze our positions and situations in the market. And as a trader, it is not focusing about where to trade first, but the perspective I always teach my people are, you need to understand where will the market react and respond. Where are the places that the market goes crazy, and where are the places that the market goes stagnant or idle or even no movement? Because at the end of the year, just because there's a lot of bank holidays and whatnot, doesn't mean we can trade, but the potential of us getting stuck in a sideway is there. So we have to be very precise in identifying where to trade. So we shall begin from the softest currency that is available. So in this one, who suits to trade EURUSD? If you are new, if your account is below $200, if you are still trying to learn how to get your 20 pips very safely with a very minimum risk of 20 to 30 pips, EURUSD is your best bet for you to sharpen. But what are the weaknesses of EURUSD? The time taken for a setup to move may require more than a day. The targeted pips that you are used to getting from gold, US 30 and NASDAQ is much smaller. So it is the perfect training ground for intraday to swing, but not the perfect location to make the most money. Okay? So let's first dive deep into the charts. As we know, we are entering December and we are exiting November in approximately 2 more days. So from that being said, we do not care about anything else. We will first focus on the monthly. Life is like inception, hence we shall focus from the outside, the most bigger picture, down into the smaller picture. If you try to focus on the smaller picture and then zooms back out, you're going to get fucked. So meaning to say, never do your analysis on M1 up to monthly. You have to do your analysis from monthly down to M1. If you choose daily, down to month M1. You don't go in an increasing manner. You go in a decreasing manner. Okay? So when you start trading, regardless if you are newbie or you are professional, you just have to have a non-biased direction with yourself. So the best way to do that, when you analyze, you don't draw a box or a line and say this is sell. Because automatically you just created a bias and you do not want that. As a trader, you want to be in a non-biased environment. So I repeat, when you begin yourself as a trader, you should not have any biasness until the day comes into the zone. So the right way to do an analysis is to put yourself into an aspect of a neutral person that just wants to describe what is happening. So this is the process of making the best analysis. So follow my flow. Good morning, Mr. Cloud. Good morning, myself. As I'm looking right now, on my top left is EURUSD monthly. So as we can see here, based off recent movement, the past 2 months, it has been a bullish movement, and it kind of seemed like it is a reversal. Where? Over here. But we do not focus on that. We focus on what's ahead of us first. So knowing this, we are now approaching at our previous zone that we can label as the monthly engulfing cell. So meaning in 2022, January, 5th January, where this orange line is, was the beginning of the drop for gold. Sorry, May. From the 1st May 2022 was the moment gold has shown a drop, a breakout sell, a movement of potential sell, blah, blah, blah. We have a neutral perspective first. So now, after how many months? We have to just describe what we are seeing. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. It took 6 months to go from a red to a neutral. So meaning it took 6 months to stabilize. But look, it took only 1 month to come back to where it began. So from a non-biased perspective, we cannot say if it's a buy or a sell yet because the price is just entering the zone. We must tell ourselves what can happen for it to happen. So for it to happen as a buy, the monthly candle must close above 1.07835, above the yellow line, which is the highest point of sellers in this particular zone. And for it to drop, it cannot break above this line. So now we know. In this whole storyline, the most important location that we can identify for now on a Sunday is that the upper line will be our maximum limit to then decide what happens. So from this perspective alone, as a trader, you have to then realize, holy shit, meaning I have to wait. Just because it has arrived at my zone doesn't mean I can enter, because I still do not know how the next new candle will look like. So this is where we play the mental game. Next month in December, there will only be 2 outcomes of how the candle will look usually. So how do we do that? This is why you need some sort of a trading device, a phone, an iPad, if preferably. If you don't make an excuse. In exactly 30 days, we will have a scenario of either the candle opens here and this happens, or it will be here something like that. Agreed? We take the most extreme first. We don't talk about what if it happens in a doji, Mr. Cloud. What if it doesn't move, Mr. Cloud? We just talk about the most probable scenario. Meaning, this is how it would look like. So knowing this fact, what can we do? We already know at this point, this is very critical. Because for either our sell or buy, this point can be potentially where we want to take a trade, buy or sell. Another one is this point. If it's a buy, it will form a wick over here. If it's a sell, it will become the body, the highest point of body before the drop. So, to put into perspective, if you were to make an entry, the best place must be somewhere on those lines. Buy or sell is not the problem. We go on about that later. So that is the first perspective. EURUSD is approaching the first zone to retest. So moving on from there. let's talk about the left side. What has happened within this area? Because now we want to justify, should we buy or sell in this area, correct? We know that this is a zone, but should we buy or sell in this zone? We need more data from the past. So this is when we zoom out and we start to see in the past what's happening here. So the most left, nothing. It's just a bullish candle. But behavioral wise, look at this, bitch. 2003, it used this price to spike. Where? Our fucking line. Not an inch less, not an inch more. Look at this. It used this line. Not an inch less, not an inch more. So the same thing will happen here for EURUSD. Buy or sell, we don't know yet, but it will respond very dangerously at this line. So moving on from this, we can also see on the left side, previously, this has formed a very strong support zone. I will put that in blue. So these all have been forming a very strong support zone. Meaning to say, whatever it may be, but if a zone has been retesting many times, meaning it is strong. So if the price comes here, two things can become very evident. It can come onto this highest point and then shot down like crazy. Or it can start climbing in this blue box. It will pick up all the buyers. This guy over here, this guy over here, this guy over here, this guy over here, and then shoots the fuck up. So now EURUSD from the monthly candlestick, it is a high risk trade in general. You make sense now? If we were in a H4 situation looking at this, we will say wait first. Because maybe Mr. Cloud, it will test up here, correct? The issue now, this is monthly. So when it comes to monthly, time is required. So a person can be right that it goes here, but we cannot dictate when. And if you are a small account holder, you will die waiting for it. So after monthly is done, we have then formed somewhat of a concept. What have I achieved here, Mr. Cloud, by myself? Let's say I talk to myself. What have I achieved here, Mr. Cloud? Mr. Cloud now knows for Mr. Cloud. He doesn't know yet. Number one, he doesn't know buy or sell. Number two, what does he know? He knows this blue box is fucking powerful. So then what does he know thirdly? If he takes a trade in blue box, there will be only two outcomes. It's powerful. Powerful profit, powerful loss. Why? Because we have deduced this zone is very powerful. So far, that is the only thing I can get for myself. On a Sunday night with 327 people, looking at this monthly candlestick. Should that frustrate you? Not yet. That should make your mind relax. This is why we need to talk to ourselves. After that fact, we dive in deep to weekly because we said we can't make off anything here right now. We just know that this blue box fucking dangerous. But maybe on the weekly we can find something. So what do we do? Firstly, we just have to look where we are right now. And then we just look up 100, 200 pips, down 100, 200 pips. This is EURUSD. You don't ever need to think more than 200 pips from where you are right now when you start trading it. So as we are opening the chart, look at where it is. It is here, 1.03920. All I need to do to survive the next coming 2 to 3 weeks, I need to know my risks and rewards and resistance and zones 200 pips above me and 200 pips below me. So I know in December it's not going to shoot 1,000 pips. If you are talking about normal circumstances, so far everyone understands? Can everyone follow how I train my mind to relax up, to be non-biased, to have a neutral point of view so that I can have a peace of mind when I trade without any influence of that one direction style? So far clear? This is the process. Yeah, you need to understand my process. Don't memorize the chart. The chart can be changed. Next month, it will look different. But the process is the same. So deep. Oh. Clear? Okay. Now, we go. On the weekly perspective, we just start to talk what we see. A lot of you think when I look at the chart, these are the top 2 mistakes traders think about pro traders. Number 1, you always think pro traders know the fuck to do. We don't. Number 2, you always think that a pro trader, when he looks at the chart, he knows where to sell or buy. He don't. He is training and teaching and talking to himself until he knows. Sometimes it's faster, sometimes it's slower, depending on your IQ level and your experience. So, I will repeat the process, what I see. But before that, color coding is important. Don't mix color. So, monthly was blue, now weekly is green. We first begin to put our parameters. 200 pips up, 200 pips down. Where is that? Take a line, pull it up. This is 200 pips. And this is 200 pips. So now I will put my parameters of 200 pips up and down with a different colored line. So if you are talking about professional level of analysis, yes, this is how I do it last time when I'm a newbie. Nowadays, I can cut around corners. I know where to mark. I know which price to take without really diving in too long. But if you are new, you want to become like me, this is how I did it. Okay, this is... So now, look at this. From a hanky-panky perspective of like, what the fuck do we do because the monthly seems so doping scary, when we relax and look at weekly and put our parameters, this is not so bad. I just need to think of where to buy or sell this whole green area. Can you guys do that? Firstly. So do you see why you don't need to look at the top left up there? Fucking, you don't. Now you just need to see what's in the green area only. So then we begin our engulfing style. So number 1, what do we see? At this orange line, purple line, we see that we have an engulfing cell over here. And at this point of engulfing cell, supposedly when the engulfing cell is formed, when the price dropped, it came back in here, it should drop, correct? It did. It pokes it down, shoots all the way down. How many pips? 380 pips. But it didn't stay. So don't get me wrong. Sometimes we will always still get the pips that we desire from the zone, but the direction in the end of the day is the opposite. So this is why you see this engulfing cell that was supposed to be a seller's zone, which happened, it dropped 380 pips, but then the market says, fuck that shit, it just blasted up. I assure you, it blasted hardcore when it crosses this peak of the green box. Where? Let me show you. M15. Let's say M30. Look. The moment it crossed this line, it formed a new candle, it poked the green box and shot all the way up. I zoom that out again. You see how here? Poke here, boom, shoots out. So now this is where the engulfing theory starts to give you confidence. So wow, this was my highest limit. It broke and it shot. So this means in this area, this was a seller's area. And it turned into a buyer's area when the sellers was beaten up here and when the buyers crossed over this price point. And from the market just turned bullish. Thus it went. So meaning to say, this area somewhere down here must have a fresh, untouched zone. that it will come back in the future to poke and maybe fly. If it doesn't fly even, it will poke and give you 60 to 100 pips. So now I will begin with identifying where do I buy? Because I'm working in the potential buy zone now. Where do I sell? I will focus up here later. Where do I buy? I must do it in here. Because this was the point that it shot and broke out my engulfing sell zone. So in here, we can find that solid demand area. If we take from weekly, we jump into H4. And from there, I tell you, we just need to find something in here. Does it become easier? It becomes easier when you have the process of doing the work. So any dumb fucker can just draw something from here. But if you were to look at the behavior, look at this. So I will mark a few potential areas. This. What is in here, here, here? Who can tell me? One more here. They're all in the same engulfing green area just now. But what is happening at this point? Who can tell me? I will zoom in a bit. What do these green box share in common? Moving average lines crossing, correct. So like I said, I don't use EMA to trade. I use it to support my process and shorten down my analysis period. I don't use it to trade. I use it to identify and make sure my zones are of quality. That is the best way to use EMA. You want the EMA setting? If you don't have it, message me on Telegram. To the YouTubers out here that found me, if you want to join us in the club society, join in my Telegram. We're the best of the best, 0 fee for fun. I just want to be famous. Help me out. So now, after I've identified, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 zones that had the EMA crossover. And this is all on H4. So what I do is can I find some setups for the buy? Here, engulfing cell meets engulfing cell. Engulfing cell, the beginning of the crossover. Form the zone. Look at how when the price came up, it shot back down. Meets engulfing cell. I love it. And then if I were to expand it, I'll add one more engulfing cell box here. I cross it and look. Engulfing cell meets engulfing cell. When price crossed, it shot up, but then it did a fake out, it dropped back down, and it formed another engulfing cell here. So you see how that engulfing cell just now formed a hidden engulfing cell to use and make this guy do an engulfing cell later in the future. So do you see why I always say my zones is not about where you buy or where you sell. The zones will become the source of power for it to fly or drop. And then now this has engulfing cell, right? So I just add a new box and I'll drag it to the front. And look, this engulfing cell formed an engulfing buy over here. Formed an engulfing buy perfectly at the box. So from there, we don't even have to go through. We can then say, this is a very strong zone with a lot of precise price points from the engulfing area that in the future can be the first point of retest. So in the future, if you are trying to trade EURUSD, for now, you just have to wait at this price to buy. 0.9981. You can still take this. It's not wrong, but you know, out of all of this, the sharpest one with a lot of events happening was from that one we picked, correct? So you can still have this marked up, but we don't want to be the trader with a lot of zones on the screen. It's fucking messy. Don't be proud of it. Some guys, they're damn proud that their screens are filled with junks. I will start looking for below once this one is broken, correct? Don't cause headache in your mind. It hasn't broke yet. Why the fuck you care to draw the ones below? Make sense? So we have settled up the buy. This is a precise buy. If it comes here, even if it's not a precise buy, it can become a precise sell. So this zone will then become our source of vehicle to give us the boost to get that 30, 40, 60 pips in Euro USD. Okay. So do you see, to get one buy zone, precise one takes working 15, 20 minutes. And this is, we're talking about the best buy zone. So once you have set out the best buy zone, you know you will have two more. Medium best, high risk. If you have 4 or 5 in this, you're just causing problem. So maximum, this is low risk. So after you have found your low risk, you can find a certain setup from here maybe. This area, engulfing sell, meets engulfing sell, broken, meets engulfing buy, here. So these two, don't have anything more. In this area, we can control our risks and we can control our profit. If you trade not in a zone, sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. When it doesn't work, you don't know when to stop. If you want to cut now, you might be losing some unnecessary cuts and loss. But if you hold, you might rack everything up. The majority of you starts to get confused because you press the button in the black area. Agree? I think if you all practice to press in the box, you will really know to hold or to cut. Correct? But of course, when the day goes, it's hard for us to maintain this kind of level of discipline. Sometimes we are fucking disciplined. We won't even press a single 0.01 in this. So then, what should we summarize from here? Never press in the black zone. Simple as this. So now, again, the same process repeated for Euro USD. We know now our highest point is 1.05985. Anything more than that, we don't give a shit yet. We think about it later. When it comes there next month, January, we don't care. Right now, we only care at this purple line up here. This area. You make sense? So in this area, we can only find maybe 1 to 2 good sell zones. Why? Because the first one has already happened over here. The one that dropped here, it has already happened. So if you want to sell again here, you're going to get fucked. So meaning, simple rule, it has to be higher than this week, our first sell. It has to be higher than this. Meaning if you want to sell, we need a breakout first. And it needs to play below this yellow line. So meaning, our next sell zone is nowhere here. It's only in here. Somewhere in here. So do you see why I'm very profitable? I don't trade in places I don't know of. Same goes like business. Do you do things you don't know of? No. If you are trying to enter a new business, there's a learning curve you have to go through. You might win, you might fail. But if you are a professional oil player, you sell and buy oil for your life. You can go to Africa, Malaysia, Singapore, Brunei, you will know how to buy and sell oil. So same thing in trading. You know where you can trade, where you don't know. If you know about that you don't know, then it's fine. Meaning, oh shit, I know this is a black zone. It's very dangerous, but I'm okay with the risk. It's fine. But if you are not okay with the risk, then don't. So this is a practice for you. Find something in here. I've already given you a filtered out zone for the sell. So in this 160 pips range, you need to only find one area. You go find it yourself. So 1.07835 down till 1.05985. Let me zoom that in for you. Here. Okay? Find only one. There should only be one solid area to get the sell that can give you 60 to 80 pips in Euro USD. If you are talking about 20 pips, my friend, you can press anywhere in here. 15 pips anywhere in here. Big pips only in the box. So far clear, Euro USD? Can we move on? So that was when the perspective of charting for the month. For Euro USD, because when we look at the monthly candle, we know the outcome is going to play in this blue box, one or. Because we are in that timing whereby it will use this box to decide the ending, like I said just now. Will it be a bullish monthly candle at the end of December, or will it be a red S or doji candle at the end of December? There are other setups whereby when you open up the monthly, it'll be like, oh, it's a sideways. That means we can take a lot of buy and sell here and there. But for this case, no. This case, it will use one price point to shoot out to fulfill the ending of this monthly candle. Make sense? What is this Tanish Golcha saying? I will find that motherfucker. Which motherfucker? Oh, you will find the EURUSD motherfucker. Yes. You put in your energy, effort to find that one motherfucker in here. This zone, it must be in there. Don't make me spoon feed the fucker of you. I showed you 2 demonstrations of getting it, the thought process of reasoning behind it. But of course, I can sharpen it even more. If I go to M15, I go to my green zone, I look at where the price really is, and I'll be like, oh shit, it's not this whole green box, right? It should be somewhere here. So yes, you can filter. But if you can get a 30 to 50 pips zone of accuracy, it's already good enough for an intraday swing trader. But always try to filter the best. We must become the best.